I'm just wandering around like a weirdo. I look an absolute mess today, by the way. I'm unshaven, I'm uncut. Therefore, I'm staying in my gas. Probably not allowed back here. Anyway, so what questions do you have? Bitclout or to not Bitclout. So this is actually a really cool, interesting topic. I will make a video on Bitclout later or at another time, or I'll hold a live session on Bitclout. And the reason being is I still fully haven't got my head around it. Now, let's back up a bit. What is Bitclout? Now, years and years ago, I had an idea. So this was probably about 6, maybe 7 years ago, when I was thinking about setting up my school. I thought, wouldn't it be really cool if there was a human stock market? And I was toying along with this thought, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool if there was a human stock market and every kid in the school had their own share price? So, Joe had Joe coin and had, Joe's share price would go up if he got good grades, and it went down if he got bad grades, or blah, blah, blah. Then I thought, there's probably going to be too much undue pressure for the kids and probably not a good idea. However, I thought having a human stock market would be pretty cool. And I obviously didn't do anything with it. But guess what? Now that we're in crypto world, there's a platform that's popped up called Bitclout. And Bitclout is an interesting thing. It's exactly what I thought about years and years ago, except they've managed to do this. One sec. It's a bit cold. They've managed to pull this off. Well, when I say pull it off, I'm still dubious whether it's going to take off. So what happens on Bitclout is they have basically copied Twitter. So if you if you go and open up a profile on Bitclout, the UI looks pretty damn similar to Twitter, and everyone that has a profile has their own coin. So I've got my own profile on Bitclout called Siam Kidd. No shit. I think you can find me on bitclout.com/u/Siam Kidd, whatever. And they're what they call creator coins. And if you like someone, you can buy their coin and their share price will go up if that person gets more famous or does good stuff. And yeah. And so, for example, you could you could short Kanye West coin if you think he's going to be a douchebag, or you can buy Elon Musk coin or whatever. Now, I find it quite hilarious that I've only set up the coin, my profile, and I've had, a couple $100 worth of coins being bought, as in there's like probably 8 or 9 people that own a bunch of Siam Kidd coins, which is weird. So I've read the white paper, which isn't really a white paper. It's like a 4-page PDF. And it doesn't really show too much details, but I will talk about it another time. But whether it gets any traction, I don't know. It's a tricky one. And yes, I did buy Siam Kidd coin. I bought $20 of my own coin. Yeah, anyway, I'm a big fan of Neo. Always have been, ever since it was Ant shares. And I originally got into Ant shares at probably $2. Ant shares then rebranded into Neo, otherwise known as the Chinese Ethereum killer or whatever, although Neo hate it when people use that. And so I've been riding Neo all the way up, into the hundreds of dollars up, and obviously all the way down as well. And gas, so Neo was pretty much the original crypto out there that had a dual token economy. So it had Neo, which was the actual token, and then you had gas behind it. And Neo gas was the fuel that basically lubricated the whole system. Very similar to Ethereum and Gwei. So one of the cool things I found with Neo and gas is that there was a relationship between the two, and that on average, gas was roughly 25 to 30% of the price of Neo. But every now and then, like clockwork, it would spike up to 50%. So throughout 2017, I did a whole bunch of Neo gas plays where I bought gas when it was low, around 25 to 30% of the price of Neo. And when it spiked up to 50%, I then sold all my gas into Neo. Easy swap. So what that basically meant is that for the same amount of money, I got way more Neo for my money, if that made sense. And so it's been on my radar. Now, ever since 2018, Da Hongfei and the whole Neo network have been rebuilding stuff behind the scenes. And they're releasing Neo 3.0 later this year. And part of that comes with a whole bunch of upgrades. And the other day, I think it was literally yesterday, they released a whole document about what's happening with gas. And there are lots of pros and cons. So this was someone posted some tweets in the RT community Facebook group, and people are asking questions, because when reading through that article, there's lots of pros and lots of cons regarding gas. Basically, at the moment, what they call Neo Legacy, how it is right now, there is a finite supply of gas. But with Neo 3.0, they're getting rid of that max supply. And so if you look at it on face value, it's like, holy shit, they're getting, it's an infinite supply of gas. I'm going to sell all my gas because it's technically now an inflationary currency. And therefore the price should go down. However, you must not. And I see a lot of people sort of missing a step with this. You can't just stop with your thinking there. You have to look into it a bit differently. So technically, if you look at Ethereum, that is an infinite currency supply, yet it's hovering around $2,500. So it doesn't necessarily matter if there's an infinite currency supply or a token supply on a token. It's all about the distribution. How is the coin distributed? How is it inflated? And so I think off the top of my head, it's a 5% inflation rate. So they will basically mint gas at I don't have I wrote some notes as I was reading it, but yeah, I think it's 5% a year, which isn't that bad, combined with the fact that they will be burning unused gas. So at the moment in Neo Legacy, there is no unused gas. Sorry, unused gas is just put aside. Whereas with Neo 3.0, they will be burning unused gas, which therefore has somewhat of a disinflationary effect. But it remains to be seen how much burning will happen. And the reason we don't know is because we don't know how active the whole network will be. But the massive thing, I think the really bullish thing for me that I read was that at the moment in Neo Legacy, it's actually quite expensive to set up a project on Neo. So if you're looking to set up your own crypto, and you're looking, you're probably looking between Zilliqa, Ethereum, Cardano, Polkadot, Komodo maybe, and Tron or Neo, you're looking at the fees to set up on Neo, and it's quite expensive. I think off the top of my head, it's like 2,000 gas just to set up something. And so they're dramatically reducing it. I think they're dropping it down to like barely anything. And therefore, it's going to attract way more developers and more people onto the Neo network. And so that's actually a bullish thing, because if it's really cheap to set up basically they've just got rid of the barrier to entry to set up a project on Neo, which means it should attract more projects. And if there are more projects getting onto the Neo network, guess what? More gas will be used, and therefore it's bullish. It adds bullish pressure. So yeah, the more projects that set up on Neo, the more gas is then going to be needed. And therefore, I personally think at the moment, it will negate all of the other somewhat negative parts of it all. So they're the two main things that I thought share. Now, in terms of what I'm doing nothing. I'm still really bullish. And for context, I've got like $40,000 worth of gas. So if anyone's going to be a bit nervous about this, it should be me. But I'm not. I'm sitting tight. And the reason being is that there are a few variables. So one, we don't know where the new ratio will sit in 3.0. So once everything's 3.0 is out there and people are developing on it, we don't know. No one knows what the ratios will be. Will gas hover around at 25-30%, or will it drop to 5% or 10%? We don't know. But the reason I don't really care is because my gas trade really is now morphed into a gas to Bitcoin trade. And so let's say worst case scenario, this new ratio drops, okay? And let's say gas to NEO drops down to about 10% and stays there for a long time. Well, it means when you look at it on that side, it means that you can't get as much NEO if you're to sell all your gas, if that makes sense. And at the moment, it's operating at like 20 or 20%. It's pretty low. So historically speaking, gas is freaking cheap compared to NEO. However, the reason I don't care is because when you look at the chart of gas to Bitcoin, it's like woefully underappreciated. And so NEO is a big player. It's a blue chip crypto. And so it's highly likely that NEO is going to do well. It's highly likely that lots of projects are going to launch on the platform, which means if that happens, gas will be used and NEO's price is highly likely to continue rising up. If NEO's price continues going up, gas price is also going to go up. And because we're now in alt season, it's highly likely that when all these things happen, gas is going to outpace Bitcoin's growth. As we get near, and so this is what happens in alt season. Bitcoin slows down massively. We can already see that with the market share coming back down, and alts start rallying, and therefore gas is going to appreciate, is highly likely going to appreciate against Bitcoin. Therefore, I'm staying in my gas. Now, I have to take a reality check. It's probably not going to that 0.007 level or even the 0.004 level, but it doesn't matter. Even if it gets to 0.002, that's a huge uplift. So I'm staying put. So that's my thoughts on gas. I'll talk about it more once I'm in front of my computer.